look so pale right now. I don't like it. Oh, well, what do you do? It is July 1st, 9:30-ish in the morning, and I am going to be attempting to do a 12-hour readathon today, which you can probably tell because of the title of this video and also the obligatory mug of something. There is actually stuff in it. It's tea. Oh my gosh, I'm spilling tea. So I decided to do this because I'm trying to do weekly vlogs of like me reading what I was reading that week, but this week is split between 2 months, and so I don't really want to be vlogging the books that you're gonna see in my wrap up, and so like you will have already seen the wrap up that will have gone up Friday. It is currently Saturday as you were watching it, even though it's currently Wednesday for me. And so I was just like, you know, why don't I just do a 12-hour readathon of my first couple things I want to read for the month? And I'm gonna do that. So my TBR, yes, my TBR, what I plan on reading. So I plan on reading, first of all, I've already started this and I am so happy with it right now, but The Kingdom of Back by Marie Lu. I am loving this book. When I tell you I am loving this book and this book feels like it was designed for someone like me, I mean it. This book is giving me like Peter Pan and like Alice's Adventures in Wonderland vibes, and like it's got also all the like good parts of like Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell. Like I love me some dark fairies. I love some like dark sort of creatures that don't kind of have this relationship of like romance with you. It's why I don't really read fairy books or like fae books, even though I'm gonna maybe try some, because the idea of a romance with a fairy or like a fae doesn't appeal to me, because I'm so in love with the myth fairies, which are tricksters and just so different from humans that like they wouldn't want to really associate with you like that, which is why I loved the fae in Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell. It was a great depiction of dark fairies. I also like books like Stardust by Neil Gaiman, which have this kind of trope, and The Kingdom of Back seems like it's going to have that, and I am very, very excited about it. I didn't even tell you what this book is about. This book is about Non-Errol. Ooh, that was really bad. I don't know how to say her name. And I'm listening to the audiobook, so like I'm doubly stupid. Non-Errol Mozart. So she's the Mozart, the musician that everyone knows, the man Wolfgang Mozart. She is his older sister, and you follow her as a kid as she's also a musician, and obviously we know that no one really knows her in the future. Like, she doesn't get remembered in the same way that her brother does, and she wants to be desperate. But because she's a girl and because of the time, she gets overlooked a lot, and she doesn't have the same kind of opportunities as her brother, really, it seems. She has different expectations than her brother, and so she really just wants to be remembered even though it doesn't look likely, and it's following her through her life and the fantastical experiences that she and her brother have as children with the Kingdom of Back. And I don't really want to say much else, but it is majorly playing with like Peter Pan, Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, like old classic sort of fairy tales and the feel of those, and like old like fairy tales like with fae. It is honestly as beautiful as the cover right now, and so I am so excited with this book and I cannot wait to keep reading it. I'm probably going to be reading that mostly this morning. Then the other book I want to read, and this is the one that probably drew you because it'll be in the title, and that is The Lightning Thief by Riordan. So if you don't know, The Lightning Thief was my favorite book when I was a kid, or it was the beginning of my favorite series when I was a kid. This is the book that got me into reading. I'm not reading the whole series today. I can't read all 5 books in a day, but I mean, Charlotte from Charlotte's Reads actually did do that, so if you want to see someone who can do that, highly recommend you go check her channel out. I will link her in the description. I have wanted to reread Percy Jackson series for a long time and annotate them and see if they hold up, because I mostly reread Harry Potter over and over, and I would when I was a kid, basically, like, I got into reading Percy Jackson, and then I found Harry Potter when I was 11, a year later, and so that is what my childhood was largely dominated. Later, my teenhood was largely dominated with rereading Harry Potter. I never reread Percy Jackson, though, mostly because there were books still coming out, like Heroes of Olympus. Every year there would be more books coming out until I was like 15 or something, and so I was reading those, and I was slowly falling out of love with some of Riordan's stuff, with Heroes of Olympus and sort of the Kane Chronicles, and so I wasn't as into it, and so I didn't, at that point, I didn't want to reread Percy Jackson, really, but I really have wanted to since I've gotten back into reading, because I just would like to see if it holds up and if I can still consider it a favorite. And so those are my two main goals. I might throw in a comic here or there because I might need something to break up Percy Jackson. I don't know if I'll finish these today. I still have like 8 hours left in the Kingdom of Back audiobook, and I'm only like 10 or something pages into the Lightning Thief, and so like it'll be a miracle if I can finish them today, but it's okay. I'm gonna get reading, and I will update you later. So my tripod is having struggles right now, so I guess I will just update you like this. So it is now like 2:30, and I've done some reading. So I read about, I'm like 3 hours into the Kingdom of Back, maybe almost 4. It's still really good. I'm still loving it. It's kind of my dream book, not gonna lie. With how much I love Peter Pan and Alice in Wonderland, it's kind of my dream book. I just finished filming my June wrap-up, and so now it is time for me to dive back into reading and to get this 12-hour readathon going more. And I'm going to begin or continue reading The Lightning Thief by Riordan, and I'm very excited. I'll update you when I have thoughts. Okay, so I've been reading Percy Jackson. This is how far I am so far. It's been about like an hour and a half or so, and I'm 126 pages in. I am just at the part where we find out who Percy's godly parent is, but since this is a reread, I already knew that, of course. Yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with this reread. I know this book like it's literally like the back of my own hand. I used to read this so often, and so like I used to genuinely think about like how certain characters would say things and try out different ways of saying their lines all the time, and so it's really interesting to feel all that stuff come back. I still I have like an urge to like read it aloud every time I'm reading it, because I feel like that's what I used to do as a kid. It's how I got into like acting as a kid. I'm really loving this reread. Percy's head is such a fun place to be. I love his voice. I love his character. I love Camp Half-Blood as a setting. I have always thought that was such a fun setting. I love the like subtle world building that Camp Half-Blood gets. It doesn't get too much because it's just a camp, but like it gets like a little bit with the cabins and with the culture and everything people do there, and I just love it. I wanted to go to Camp Half-Blood so bad as a kid, like literally like maybe more than I wanted to go to the magical school that in the series that we don't need to talk about right now because a turf wrote it. It's also really interesting to see the things that are obvious to me now that were not obvious when I was a kid. Like Percy's parentage is pretty obvious from honestly everything about this book. Honestly, there's so much foreshadowing, and it's not done in a way that's like bad. It's just that because it's middle grade, like it is, I can see the criticism that it is predictable. I, as a 10-year-old reading this, did not catch any of that, because I think like honestly I would sometimes, my attention would veer off and I would miss whole paragraphs, and so some of these paragraphs, like what exactly happened in the bathrooms, and like Percy walking into one of the cabins, the cabin that will eventually be his, basically. Like when he sees that cabin for the first time, that whole scene is full of like foreshadowing. Percy talking to his mom about his dad, like the things his mom says about his dad, like it's all so, it's pretty obvious, like, but I didn't notice that as a kid. We've met Annabeth and obviously Grover, and I am just so happy. I love this cast of characters. I love meeting Mr. D for the first time. Oh my goodness. Also, there might be thunder because we have a severe thunderstorm warning right now, that the severe thunderstorm is coming, and that's quite fitting, especially because of the chapter I'm on, which is chapter 9. I'm offered a quest that literally starts where it is like torrential downpour. I am going to continue reading this. I will update you later. If it doesn't get too dark, well, I'm gonna update you no matter what it looks like outside and what it looks like in here, because 12-hour readathon, duh. Yeah, I'm gonna get back to reading. I'm loving this so far, having a blast. Okay. Okay, so I read a lot more and the rain stopped. It's sunny again, clearly, because I got to a sunny part in the book. Clearly, that is definitely what happened. Anyways, I am 242 pages into this book. I've read a lot more than I thought I would today. I've read over 200 pages today in the last like couple of hours, which is not like me, but this book is just so easy to read and I can come back into it so easily because I know it so well. Here's the thing. I feel like I never forgot anything from this book, even if I don't remember everything at the forefront of my memory all the time. Like, the Tunnel of Love just happened. Like, they just went in the Tunnel of Love, or the water park, and I was like, this is not a scene I actively think about when I think of Percy Jackson or even the Lightning Thief, but I didn't forget it happened, you know? Like, I wasn't like pleasantly like, ooh, I don't remember that. Like, I don't know how to describe it. Like, it's like, I feel like this book is kind of so coded into my brain that like I can't forget it, you know, like completely. But that's also because like I used to come home from school and just read this book over and over and over, so I don't know, I'm really enjoying it. I might even finish it today, which I was not expecting with this 12-hour readathon. It is 5:30, so I've got a couple more hours. I'm probably going to read a little bit of The Kingdom of Back, or more of The Kingdom of Back, because we're going to go on a walk soon, and I'm going to listen to my audiobook as I walk, and I am still so pleasantly surprised with how much I'm into Percy and Annabeth and Grover. I mean, I'm not pleasantly surprised because I knew I was going to love them, but I'm just so glad this book is held up, because when I first started it like a month ago, I just was not into it. And even though it felt like I was coming home, I couldn't get into it extremely well, but I'm so grateful that I've gotten into it this time, and I'm so far in it. I'm so pleased with this progress. Even now, though, I'm like still worried about how I'm gonna rate it, because like it's not my favorite book anymore. It's not my favorite series anymore, but the nostalgia is keeping me from hating anything about this book. I'm sure if I read this as an adult, I would have more problems, but as it is, this meant so much to me as a kid that like I don't have any problems. Like, in another book I might have problems. I might not be as into the middle grade writing or the middle grade style, but I don't know, as it is now, I'm just kind of like, but it's also not the kind of thing that I would normally give 5 stars, and I don't get that like 5-star feeling that I get when I'm reading a 5-star book like The Kingdom of Back. I'm getting that 5-star feeling as I'm reading that one. So I don't know, I'm really enjoying this one. You could even say I'm loving it, but I also just feel like I still don't know how I'm gonna rate this. Maybe the ending will really help me figure that out. I also might add the second book to my TBR. I don't know. I might. Well, my plan is I'm gonna go read a little bit more of The Lightning Thief before we go on our walk, and then I'm going to listen to The Kingdom of Back. I will update you when I come back. So after I went on a walk yesterday, I never closed out the vlog because I was really sweaty and gross, and so I just felt like everyone would maybe appreciate it if I waited a day, including myself. And so I did, and in the time between you saw me check in last and 9:30, which is 12 hours from when I started, I finished The Lightning Thief. I read this book in 12 hours, and I'm very proud of myself. It wasn't even hard because I love this book so much, and because I know this book so well, and I know the line so well. I need to take breaks when I speak. Anyways, I finished it. I loved it. Not as much as I loved it the first time I read it and the times when I was a kid, because this series was everything to me, and I have other favorite books now, and if I'd read this today I might not love it as much, but this brought back a lot of childhood memories of loving the series so much and my obsession with it, and I can see why I was obsessed with it. This is a dang good book. Like, this is solid stuff. I highly recommend this. I'm going to be reading this to my kids and basically forcing them. Oh my god, I don't even have my glasses on. That's fun. I spent a really long time not wearing glasses, and so sometimes I forget. But yeah, I'm gonna be forcing my kids to read this, and I'm gonna be reading it to them. They don't have to like it, but they do have to try it. I love this book. I'm so happy that I reread it, and I cannot wait for the second book because I loved the second book when I was a kid. I loved all the books in this series. I didn't think there was a bad book. I know people say the next one is, but I just disagree with that wholeheartedly, because how do you hate the Sea of Monsters when they're like pirates and they're like on the ocean with the sea monsters and Circe? Oh, it's like the Odyssey. Anyways, I gave this 5 stars upon reread. It's not a favorite anymore, I would say, but it was my childhood favorite, and it will always remain so, and I will always think of it fondly because of that, and I would like to continue with this reread. Those are my thoughts. Also, I cried a little bit at the end. I don't remember what did it, but something did it, and I cried a little bit. And then just a quick update on The Kingdom of Back. I have gotten about I'm over halfway now. I'm about 60% in now, but I was about halfway last night when I finished reading, I guess. And I'm probably gonna finish it today because I'm gonna be in the car for a while because, yeah, we're going in town, but because I just want to get out of the house, I'm not getting out of the car because we are in a pandemic. So that's my outing. Sitting in a car listening to my audiobook while my mother runs errands. Full adult and everything. The Kingdom of Back is so good already. I'm loving it. I mean, not what am I talking about already? I'm 60% of the way through. It's so dark and whimsical and beautiful and heart-wrenching, and things are happening that I'm just like, no, but yes, because I love plot, but no, because my characters, no. Man, I highly recommend picking up The Kingdom of Back if you like whimsy and dark fantasy and like fairy tales at all. If you're into any fairy tales at all, you should pick this up. And if you like dark retellings, oh my goodness, it's not a retelling, but does it give me fairy tale vibes? Absolutely. It gave me Little Mermaid vibes as well, and a little bit Rapunzel vibes, and I don't even know what has a troll, but whatever a troll is from, those vibes. And I love The Kingdom of Back already. I can already tell it's gonna be one of my faves, and my arm is killing me, so I gotta close out this vlog. Thank you for tuning into my 12-hour readathon. It was very fun. I hope to do more of these. I've got one coming later in the month where I'm trying to get another middle grade finished in a day. And I will see you next time. Bye. I always wanted to do that like a vlogger. Oh my god.